We're hoping for the good. These teams showed us the bad and the ugly last week. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us. The Dallas Cowboys, it couldn't have been worse for them last week. Slaughtered by the Eagles at home. They lost quarterback Troy Aikman indefinitely with a concussion and receiver Joey Galloway for the season with a knee injury. The Cardinals have to have a fast start. Head coach Vince Tobin in the last year of his contract. A vote on a new stadium comes up in November. And after losing on the road in the opening week, they have 4 of their next 5 at home. The loser of tonight's game is 0-2 in the division. 0-2 is bad. 0-2 is ugly.
Mike, that could be exactly it for Arizona tonight. If they can't stop the run, and they can't run the ball, which is something they couldn't do last year and also in the first game this year, Joe, they have simplified the offense so that they could run the football. And yes, Dallas did give up over 300 yards last week. And they have a makeshift offensive line. I don't think that they can run the ball against Dallas, and I think it's now in the lap of Plummer.
Well, if that's the case, Paul, they're asking Jake Plummer to go out and play flawless football. This is something he has proven he's not been able to do yet. For the Cowboys, Troy Aikman's out. Randall Cunningham had very little work during preseason. You'd think with the quarterback situation the way it is, you've got to do one thing.
Run.
You got an offensive line that is so big that they've done things very well, one thing in particular.
Run.
And you've got Emmitt Smith, who only touched the ball 7 times last week. I think he's got to touch it at least 20 times and do what?
I get it right 3 times. Run. Michael?
Thank you, guys. This just in. It gets real hot out here in the desert. Back to Arizona in a moment. Tune in, log on, speak out. It's Enhanced TV, the online complement to tonight's broadcast. Log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com now and click the Enhanced TV logo. Before the kickoff, let's go to the sidelines. Our Solomon Wilcots with Dallas head coach Dave Campo.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, after last week's disappointing loss, what problems did you address as you look to improve tonight?
Well, number one, we had to clean up some things technique-wise on defense against the run, and hopefully we're going to be able to show that tonight. Offensively, we just got to execute our offense. It's a new offense. We just got to come out and do the things that we know how to do.
Now, this offense is old hat for Troy Aikman, but it's still very new for Randall Cunningham. How much of the offense have you had to scale back?
Well, Solomon, we had to scale back a little bit, obviously, from an experience standpoint, but Randall's an experienced quarterback in the league. He feels comfortable with certain things. We're going to try to take advantage of his movement and go from there.
All right, Coach. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
So while the Cowboys are looking to redeem themselves from last week's devastating loss, they're also looking to put an end to that streak of 7 consecutive losses on the road.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Well, it's getting noticeably cooler. The thermometer now in the shade, we're down to around 118.
Yeah, it's no cooler up here, I can tell you that.
Oh, it's very nice. It's that nice dry heat. Last week in Dallas, temperatures on the field on the artificial surface reported anywhere between 140 and 180 degrees. At least it's cooler than that. Micah Noor out of Utah State, the rookie who'd been out of football for 4 years, will kick off. Tommy Bennett, along with Marte Jenkins. Bennett is 28. There's Marte Jenkins. He has blinding speed. A former Dallas draft choice. We are underway in the desert. Marte Jenkins to the 32. The Cowboys offense will have Randall Cunningham for the injured Troy Aikman. Cunningham. Check it. I'm sorry. Jake Plummer, the Cardinal quarterback, now in his 4th year. He is yet to be an impact player that they had hoped. Behind him, Jones and Makovica. Boston, who had a career day last week. Sanders and Hardy, the tight end. Up front, only 2 starters because of injury. At left tackle, Ethan Brooks for Shelton. Joyce, Dishman for Grudadoria. Davids, Garrido, and Clement. Draw play to Jones, the rookie #1 draft choice out of UVA. The Dallas defense up front, Ecubon, Lett, Chad Hennings, who is coming off a career-high 92 tackles last year, and Ellis. The linebackers have great speed. Hambrick, Wynn, and Dexter Coakley, a Pro Bowler a year ago. The secondary is a question mark with the rookie Larimore and free agent McNeil. Darren Woodson, the 5-time Pro Bowler, and Teague are at safety. Jones again off the right side. and wrapped up immediately by Dat Win. Both of these clubs want to come out grinding it up.
Well, I think for the Cardinals, they have to. It's been a football team that has not had an opportunity to be able to enjoy any success for Vince Tobin running the football.
And the one thing we did know that they kind of scaled down their offense a little bit for Jake so that they can run the football. Even though they have that makeshift offensive line, they still feel that they can run the ball against Dallas.
And Hambrick, the left side linebacker, is the guy who's still down.
Take a look at the right side of your screen. Number 54 winds up getting rolled into. Well, you know, you just see him standing there trying to fight off the block of Makovic. You just can't stand around on a football field. I mean, if you're standing still, there's a good chance you're going to wind up getting yourself nicked.
ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? By Toyota, making it happen every day. By Nortel Networks, we're building the new high-performance internet. By Lexmark, passion for printing ideas. And by True Value, where health is just around the corner. Hambrick will walk slowly to the sideline, and Joe Bowden, who was a Super Bowl starter with the Tennessee Titans, will come in his place at the left outside linebacker spot. And now Arizona will go with two tight ends, Terry Hardy and Chris Gedney.
And this is a situation where you just got to believe they're going to run the football one more time. They're trying to establish some sense of identity running the ball.
Gets an arm on Jones. He doesn't make the tackle, but he messes up the play. Number 78 on the left side of your screen. Look at this. He goes down the line. They don't even touch him.
That's pretty quick. Woo. And then Ecubon cleaned it up. Scott Player will kick to McGarity. Cowboys should have good field position out of this. There's a marker down. McGarity midfield looking for a block. Another flag is down. McGarity out of bounds at the 35. Will check the penalty.
Well, I know the one down here around the 45-yard line. That's Dallas.
Preliminary signal is a hold on Arizona, so this might be a wash.
Probably an illegal block in the back on the return.
Ron Blum talking it over with his officiating crew. That was a 47-yard punt and a pretty 21-yard return.
Joe Avisano wearing out his gums.
Probably went through a pack after the opening kickoff last week. And Hank Coolman, special teams and kicking coach, and he has done a remarkable job trying to get this ball club together.
I'd say one thing, when you're on special teams and it's as hot as it is here, your players saying, don't make any mistakes. We don't want to do this over again.
I still think that's one of the areas that gets exposed early in the year, because it's so hard to find some sense of continuity on your special teams through the preseason, because you're running so many people through it, looking at rookies, looking at new players and free agents. Okay, now that we know what happened,
now what?
What's going to happen now?
Well, Dallas has 23 people on the field. They've got a bunch over there by the bench, and then they got a bunch out here.
Everybody is pleading their case.
Now, what'll happen is, what I think Dave Campo is doing is saying, look, we can make them kick again, or we can take the ball where it is and wind up with the penalty.
2 fouls, holding 39 of the kicking team, illegal block in the back on the receiving team, number 93, number 93. Those penalties all set by rule, re-kick, replay 4th down.
NFL Countdown every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Join Chris Berman and the gang for the NFL's best pregame show. Then at 7:30, all the highlights on prime time.
And the overthrow is picked up by Sam Dolly Madison from Louisville.
So I guess the way it turns out, the play never happened, and I guess the ensuing argument.
Scott Player is the punter and is the only guy, last that has a chance. But look at this play. McGarity, watch this here. He runs into his own man, but once he gets to the outside, Player is lost. You can't reach to the guy. What you have to do is pin him to the sideline and hope that your guys can get there.
Dave Campo, who had virtually nothing go his way in the opener against the Eagles, showing tremendous emotion on the sideline. Tim Cedar for the point after. And the Cowboys strike on special teams. Log on to NFL.com and get complete recaps from all of the day's games. McGarity, who had the big punt return, broke a couple of tackles and puts the Cowboys ahead.
Two of the tackles he broke were by his own men. They were trying to knock him down.
He ran into a few folks. Knorr to kick. Cody and Bennett are deep. There's Bennett, the up man. Left footer gets a good one. Matt Cody from the one. Izell Reese slipped the block and made the tackle. Timeout on the field. 4:24 to go. First quarter. The Cardinals, trailing the Cowboys 7-3, will take over at their own 19-yard line. They have thrown the ball twice tonight. One bomb, which resulted in an interference call, and a shovel pass. Other than that, it's been run with football. Jones is the tailback. Play action Plummer. Hardy, the tight end, wide open. Taken out of bounds by Hamrick. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcox.
Yeah, Mike, before the game, I talked to Dallas special teams coach Joe Avezzano, and he told me that when they lost Joey Galloway for the season, they really took a two-way hit. Not only did they lose a wide receiver in the offense, but they lost their punt returner on special teams. Now, he said, we just need someone to step it up in either area. Little did he know that Wayne McGarity would step up so soon here in the first quarter with a 64-yard return for a touchdown.
Solomon, didn't he ever? And McGarity gives him a lot of depth at wide receiver as well. Plummer, short set. Gedney, the tight end, up near the 30. He should have a first down. Gedney is a walking tribute to modern medicine. In the spring of '99, he had major surgery to remove his colon. He had to wear a colostomy bag to capture his body's waste. Then he had more surgery, as Gedney put it, to reconnect the plumbing. It was a success, but by then he'd lost 40 pounds. What would you do with the rest of your life?
Well, that time, they had Simeon Rice in the game, and he's trying to rush up the middle. He can't.
McKnight just pushing Chavis back. He realizes he beat him deep before. Now he gives him a big cushion. Such a big cushion, he's not even in the picture.
This is what I'm talking about, Simeon Rice. He got all those sacks from outside. Look at that. Try to go up in the middle on Page. Page just threw him out of the backfield. Get out of here.
Rice only about 260. He's not going to get by Page on a bull rush. Cunningham into the flat. Thomas, the fullback. What a nice effort there by Sears, chasing it down from behind the defensive end.
You notice the rhythm that Randall Cunningham is in. Jack Riley's doing a nice job giving him plays where he can get the ball off quickly. I'd say 6 for 6 is a pretty good rhythm. But he's getting back, even in the drop back, 5 steps, get rid of the football. This is what Jack envisioned for this offense last week when Troy was running it.
Jason Tucker, number 87, is the wide receiver. Chris Warren, McKinnon, and a flag is down. McKinnon, the middle linebacker out of North Alabama, had over 200 tackles last year for this franchise. And this is a hold against Dallas. Ron Blum talking it over with his crew.
Holding, 88 offense, 10 yards, repeat.
Ron Blum talking it over with his crew.
Holding, 88 offense, 10 yards, repeat second down.
Jackie Harris, the tight end, caught for the hold.
Jackie Harris is one of the tight ends you talked about earlier, and he's on the right-hand side of your screen. Now look at this hold. Now Jackie Harris goes back inside. Fredrickson goes up inside of him. And the only thing I can see is that arm around his waist. That's holding.
Yeah, that's a pretty good indication.
That's holding. Yeah, you're out in space. You're going to get cut. That's holding.
That's a giveaway.
Cunningham wants a screen. Harris. Chavis, nice play. Looks like we might get a little rain here, doesn't it?
It's coming from the behind where the Cowboys are. Moving right to left on your screen if it gets it.
It was designed so beautifully. What they did with Randall Cunningham is they rolled him away from Simeon Rice. They just blocked Warren, who's the back, on that side. He just has to check him a little bit because Cunningham can get outside. Here comes Simeon Rice way outside. Now watch what Warren does, number 42. He steps up and just moves him outside. Here he is. Randall Cunningham back to the outside.
Randall, this is a dash play. What he does is he drops back towards the pocket and then works himself outside, and then you either bring a wide receiver or a tight end into the middle where it's voided.
Emmett is back in at tailback. He'll get the carry. Flag is down as Emmett reached the 14-yard line. Still got those great feet to make those cuts.
Emmett's just one of those backs that I think the more carries he gets and he gets knocked around, the more yards he picks up, the more pounding he takes, the more yards he picks up.
This is a tripping call.
Tripping,
Yeah.
79 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Eric Williams, who will do anything at right tackle to get it done, including that.
Well, when you miss a lot of training camp, your conditioning's a little off, so you got to do what you need to do. Of course, Dave Campo would prefer he doesn't do it quite that way. Aeneas getting the work on. Watch number 79. There goes the foot out on Thompson. Throws the left and right foot out to try and trip him.
Cunningham, good protection again. Thomas, the fullback in the flat, cut down at the 22. A linebacker and a tight end in college taken down by Kwame Lassiter. And we have reached the 2-minute warning officially at 1:57 here in Tempe.
The Bills won again.
Yeah.
And the Redskins. Did the Redskins win?
No,
The
they
Giants
did not.
and the Lions, both 2-0.
In that Redskin game, Larry Peccatello, the defensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, is as good as there is, and it showed up today.
There's Aeneas Williams back in at the corner. 2nd and 16 for Dallas. Shovel pass to Ismail. Can't get outside. McKinnon got a hand on him and held on and waited for help.
I'll tell you, Rob Fredrickson has been all over this field. We saw him make a play on a reverse, and he almost gets the shovel pass. Those eyes. He's ready.
They're linebacker eyes. All those guys have it.
They see it all.
When you get up under a center and you stare at linebackers, every one of them has a pair of eyes like that.
Both teams have 3 timeouts. Clock running down to 1:18. see the play clock, and Cunningham is going to have to use one of those 3. Randall calls timeout with 1:12 to go in the half.
Just having Aeneas back on the field psychologically makes that defense feel better. And the reason why is because when you have a corner out like he was out, Randall gets to take advantage. You see his numbers, but look at what he's done with McKnight. Nice rhythm, back 5 steps. That was one of his early passes. Now he cuts one loose just to let him know how good his arm is. Perfectly thrown ball. And here's another one with Corey Chavis playing off, which is where Aeneas will be. Randall Cunningham is in a wonderful rhythm getting rid of the football. And you can see the way he's spread it out. 6 to the wide receivers, 2 to the tight ends, 2 to the running backs. It makes the defense play everyone. I think their biggest concern, though, are going to have to be the wide receivers.
Randall Cunningham very satisfied with his position as a backup to Troy Aikman. A few years ago, he would not have been, but he says Troy would be back. In the desert in Arizona, and if anyone is Cunningham, they can arrest him for a felony tonight. He's been perfect. And it's 21-13. Dallas on top of Arizona here at the stadium that serves as the home for Arizona State University. Let's take a look at the first half stats. And Cunningham was just sensational throwing the ball, 141 yards. They rushed for only 29. Both teams said they would be committed to the run. The Cardinals less than 50.
I'll tell you, the interesting one is look at the third down conversions for both of these teams. They're 50% for the Cardinals, but 3 out of 4 for Dallas.
Well, Randall's been perfect, but Jake Plummer, I think, has played quite well also, considering that they've limited the offense and really tried to come out and run the football. I think depending upon what happens in this series for the Cowboys and how well Randall and his unit does will dictate whether the Arizona Cardinals come out and still try and run the football.
Cunningham has given them everything and more that they could have possibly expected.
Well, when I talked to Jack Riley, he said it was just, and Dave Campo told us yesterday too, he just has to be someplace where he feels comfortable. If he's in an offense where he feels comfortable with the reads, and that's exactly what you get. I think this is a case where it should say to every coach in the National Football League, you don't have to design all these complex formations and all these crazy plays. You just go out and give a guy a basic opportunity to throw the football and ask guys to make plays. This is the result you get. And
how much they'll have to rely on him, nobody knows as yet. No timetable for Troy Aikman's return. Jason Tucker with the opening kickoff of the second half. To the 27, Corey Chavis brought him down.
But that was one of the things going into this football game, Joe. There were really no schemes by the offense or defense. And what they wanted these guys to do is line up and make plays.
Just let them play.
That's
right.
Exactly right.
Go out and make plays. And Randall certainly has made it. There, 13 consecutive passes.
12 tonight, 1 from last week, and only 1 off the team record set by Steve Pallure, 14 in a row. You would think with Aikman's accuracy, he might be up around 25 at some point, but obviously not. Emmett behind Thomas. Nice cutback. Then had his legs sliced out from under him by Fredrickson.
Oh, Ronald McKinnon, number 57. Hello to Emmett and goodbye to Emmett. Watch his feet. You're going to see number 57, McKinnon, come in right here. And watch this. Goodbye there. Nice move back to the inside and picked up 7 yards on the play.
Emmett, third all-time now, has crossed the 14,000-yard mark for his career. Emmett again. No place to go this time. Fredrickson and Tillman waiting for him at the line of scrimmage. Both of these teams came in off of opening day losses, both in the division. The loser tonight would be 0-2 in the division, and that is a tremendous hole to have to crawl out of.
Well, you know, in the two of them, Dallas, if they go 0-2, they've got a game on Monday night against Washington. And then if you're 0-2 and you're Arizona, you have a bye to have to live through that thing.
On the other hand, if you're Arizona and you win, the bye is a great week. and 4 of the next 5 games at home. Flag is down. Let's see if Arizona jumped or they were drawn. Michael Wiley.
It's offside Arizona, and that'll give Dallas a first down.
Offside, 95 defense. 5 yards, first down. Number is 96.
Brad Otis. There is Andre Wadsworth. He now estimates that he will be back in the lineup October 1st. Had knee surgery twice since last November. 3rd pick in the 98 draft, and Joe Green can't wait to get him back. Everybody loves Wadsworth. The kid has a great work ethic. And nobody worked harder than Joe Green. Play action by Cunningham. 13 out of 13. LaFleur lost his footing after he made the catch, and Tillman covered him up.
The game plan is really so simple. Run the eye, move the defense in a little bit, get them to bring the safeties up, then run a little play action and get Randall on the perimeters. Now what you do is you dump it off to the tight end. The next thing you're going to see, I think, somewhere in this series, if they can continue to hold the ball, is a play action pass, and they're going to try and get the ball down the field to McKnight or Ismail again.
That's 14 in a row over 2 games for Cunningham. 1 more and he breaks the team record. The Cardinals, with a field goal off the turnover, have cut the lead to 1, 24-23. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Daytech Online. The rules of online trading are changing. By DirecTV, never miss a moment. By Coca-Cola, enjoy. By the ridiculously easy-to-use one-control setting system. And by Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief. Barrett's fumble recovery allowed the Cardinals to get the field goal that pulls them to within 1.
He had a triple. He made the tackle, he stripped the ball,
and the recovery. The trifecta for the rookie. And McKnight, who had played so well, coughed that one up.
Isn't it amazing how you said that? The guy made some great catches, a touchdown catch. He's played so well.
As soon as you say it.
Yeah, as soon as you fumble.
Never missed a free throw.
Cunningham replacing the injured Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith without a backup in Chris Warren. It's going to be their show in the 4th quarter.
Well, the other thing, you got to remember, Emmitt did not play a lot during the preseason.
Hardly at all.
I would think conditioning definitely has to be a factor for him. I mean, you know, as tough as he is, still has to get tired.
Jason Tucker is deep, and the Cardinals have shown that fake onside kick formation all night long, and it's really messed up the Dallas return. Tucker will take it 2 yards deep and keep it there. We pay tribute to a legend next week on Sunday Night Football as the Dolphins retire Dan Marino's number 13 and place his name on their roll of honor. We'll cover the entire ceremony at halftime as Miami hosts Baltimore at 8:30 Eastern. Well, that'll be fun. It's going to be an honor to be there for that.
It really is. To see one of the greatest of all time get his due. And for the Cowboys, a guy that has been missing in this offense that I really think they have to find is Jackie Harris. And they talked about this new revamped offense where he was going to be a part of it. Haven't seen him but make 1 catch tonight for the touchdown.
Emmitt. Lassiter was right there. Emmitt still gets 4. And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. 24-23. Cowboys over the Cardinals. Tomorrow's headlines tonight. Tony Banks, 5 touchdown passes as the Ravens beat the Jaguars in a come-from-behind effort. Speaking of come from behind, the Raiders did it. 21-0 they were down. They beat Indianapolis. And the Rams, another shootout. They beat the Seahawks 37-34. Welcome back to the desert, everybody. Mike, Paul, and Joe. Great to have you with us. Well, what are your impressions of today? What did you see that maybe surprised you?
I think the most important thing is they've been talking about the Ravens' defense. What a great defense the Ravens have. And now they've got an offense. They're gonna be a good football
Well, I think we get a chance to see him next week. What I was surprised is the Ram defense last year, I thought, played very well. Got overshadowed by their offense, but so far they've given up a whole bunch of points, and you have to wonder, when does the bubble burst for this Ram team, and how good are they going to be defensively as this season goes on?
How about this? The Giants and Lions both start 2-0. Emmett stopped at the 28, 2 yards short of a first down.
And all that money that was spent for the Redskin football team that was going to be the dream team.
They forgot to put some money on the special teams.
Another wacky week.
Always seems to be a couple of shockers in there.
Oh, yeah, you know, Philadelphia, they go crazy last week against Dallas.
Today, nothing.
It's nothing.
Of course, the Giants defense gets a lot of credit for that, as well as the Giants offense. Third down here. Emmett trying to get it. McCoy hit him, but Emmitt Smith just so strong. Keeps the legs driving and got to the 30. And it is a first down for Dallas.
What you basically have seen on both offenses is that they're able to do exactly what they wanted to in this game. They both have wanted to establish a running game.
The smallest center in football, Mark Stepnoski, 265 pounds, number 53. Watch this block. Just all the way down on Smith, down the line of scrimmage, and that's moving about 70 pounds more than you are down the line.
And then he got a second block. Cunningham has rushed for more yards, more than 4,800 than any other quarterback in NFL history.
When Jerry Jones hired Dave Campo, he said, one of the reasons I chose him as the head coach is because he knows how to handle adversity. He certainly had his share of it last week, and he's not afraid to make the tough decisions or the tough calls.
He had a season's worth last week. Dallas up by 1 point. We're in the fourth quarter. 4th and an inch. And now they're going to delay the play.
The challenge is something.
I think they're challenging the
mark.
Yes, and I agree with them. I think you'll see that this mark is way up from where Randall went out of bounds.
I think that's a good job by Vince Tobin to recognize that. I mean, if you only push him back 2 feet, it makes that fourth down play a lot harder.
Going on the field, the forward progress spot.
This is where your guys upstairs in the booth become so important. Watch where he goes out now. He shifts it to his left hand. Now, there's the marker.
You know, he's already out of bounds.
Oh, it's got to be at least a yard back. It's got to be at least a yard back. Watch where he goes out. He's out of bounds. He's out of bounds probably on the I'd say the 22-yard line. I think he's out of bounds on the 22 because he only lands on the 21.
If they move it back that far, how does that affect Dave Campo's decision? Instead of 1/4 of an inch, it's 1/4 of a yard.
I think you kick the field goal.
All right, for everybody online, the play is under review. If you want to cast your vote, log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com. Click ETV. If you think the play should stand as called, hit yes. Say the play should stand as called. It would be 1/4 of an inch. If you think it should be overturned, hit that. And we'll get those votes in just a second.
And the challenge clock should start.
Play should stand 48%, 52% to overturn it. They are paying attention on their computer.
But the thing about it, if it's not indisputable, Joe, then it stays.
Exactly, and that's a situation we had last week
with the catch.
The ball should be spotted, I think, on the 22-yard line. I think he goes out on the 22-yard line. They give him a lot of forward progress. See, if he keeps the ball in his right hand, then I think maybe it gets spotted up near where the first down is.
Those, by the way, were not the official sticks, but they're close. The official sticks are on the near side.
Yeah, but I think he's out on the 22.
The thing about it is,
or further back.
None of those replays, if those are the replays that they're seeing, can overturn this call.
I think
because it doesn't show.
I think it can.
I think it's going to be very difficult to overturn it because you have to have conclusive evidence, and I don't know from that angle you can get it.
I don't we see the ball just outside of the 21-yard line. There's no way that that ball goes out of bounds near the 21-yard line.
Now, this is a great angle.
You can see it.
You can see the ball. It's got to be back by the 22.
Yeah, if you can draw a line from where he went out of bounds on the last replay we saw, it goes back to the 22-yard line where he crossed the out-of-bounds mark.
The ball, he lands with the ball out of bounds just past the 21.
He's in the air. He's stretching.
That's not an easy call for the referee. He's guessing a little bit.
I don't see him overturning it.
Well, they guessed on the mark as well. They guessed the first time.
Now the audience says 50-50. That's the way we are.
90-second time limit expired. The ruling on the field stands. Arizona is charged with a timeout.
I was right. But
50,
you were
50.
wrong.
That's right, 50-50. I think I agree with you that it's a difficult spot, but to me, when he lands with the ball almost 5 feet out of bounds and it's just about a yard or about a foot past where they spotted it, I find it hard to fathom that way. Jake Plummer being Jake Plummer. This is the play he makes on the touchdown. Rolls out to the right. They bring Frank Sanders from the left side across the formation. Not only excellent execution, again, nice job by Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator. He knows who Jake likes to get the football to.
Plummer took them 85 yards in 2:09 for the go-ahead score.
David Boston, they kept talking about him having to step up big now with no Rob Moore. He did that as well on that drive.
Jake Plummer,
I love you.
give me that.
I love you. I love you. Yes. That's not over yet, Jake.
That's going to be a souvenir. Cunningham may have something to say about this in the last minute 54. These games early in the year so critical for this Arizona franchise. There's a vote on a new stadium November 7th. It's pretty obvious to everybody, if they don't win early, they have no chance to win that vote.
And the advantage they may have is because of the heat out here. This is the last night game for them. They wind up playing Green Bay after the bye in 2 weeks, right in the middle of the afternoon. It was 106 this afternoon out here. Green Bay is another one that's got to fight for wins.
If they win this game, they could go on a run. Jason Tucker waits at his 5-yard line. Tucker to the 20, to the 25.
I think the thing that you have to be careful of if you're the Arizona Cardinal defense is letting Randall Cunningham get outside of contain, set up and throw the ball a long way down the field. I think you've got to keep him confined in the pocket. And for Randall, he can't try and force something to get outside.
He's hit 80% of his passes so far tonight.
And I think with the experience of Randall Cunningham and the people that he has, we've got a minute and 47 seconds. He's got 2 timeouts. He's going to be very patient with them.
Out in the flat, Jackie Harris. Solid tackle by David Barrett. Clock running. Cowboys with 2 timeouts.
And that subtly is a very important play by David Barrett, keeping Jackie Harris inbounds, because the clock is important to Arizona.
Four-man rush. Wiley. And they will keep the clock winding because his forward progress was stopped inbounds. Pat Tillman with a solid tackle, and Dallas wants a timeout. Dave Campo desperately signaling to stop it with 1:03 to go.
I was talking about patience and throwing short passes. I didn't mean that short.
You weren't quite...
No, a little bit longer now, like 5 or 6 yards.
Well, I mean, you've got to give credit to Arizona defensively. They're not going to let them do it.
These beautiful overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines aerial cam. High above Sun Devil Stadium. More than 60,000 on hand to see the Cardinals take on the Cowboys. They always draw well for the Cowboys. Tim Cedar hoping for a chance to win this ball game. A guy who quit his job, been out of school since 1997 when he left Ashland University. Had a job as a phys ed instructor and a coach. Said this was his dream, though, to kick in the NFL, and he wanted to pursue it. He won the job in camp. And so far in the year 2000, he has been perfect on field goal attempts. 3rd and 5. Can Rice have an impact as a pass rusher?